Welcome to another bold and transformative episode of the No Limits Life podcast. I'm your host, Nordine, alongside my co-host, Ken. And today we're talking about reinventing or reinvention, resilience, and rewriting the story you tell yourself. It's never too late to become the healthiest, strongest, most authentic version of you. Today's guest has over 30 years of experience behind the mic with a career spanning major cities like Chicago, Minneapolis, Austin, Tucson, and Milwaukee. She's worked with giants like CBS 2, Chicago, and the Oprah Winfrey Show. Yes, but the most powerful story she tells now is her own. Meredith Dunkel is a top-rated radio personality turned health and transformation coach who lost over 83 pounds. Wow. And now helps others reclaim their health with zero diet drama, a proud neurodivergent mom, foster-adoptive parent, dog lover, yes, and wife. Meredith blends humor, heart, and honesty in investing in everything she does.
That sounds so nice.
Please welcome a voice of wisdom, warmth, and fearless self-reinvention, Meredith Dunkel.
Hello.
It's great to have you here.
It's so great to be in here.
So, Meredith, that quote about becoming your stronger self, what does it stir up for you, especially after years of speaking into everyone else's stories before turning the spotlight on your own?
Well, I think it's just really about awareness and what you're putting out there and what you're speaking to others and the energy you bring when you're speaking to others and how important it is to be aware of it, because I think so many people walk through their day and they're almost like zombies.
And I like the term awareness, because this No Limits Life show is about awareness, bringing awareness and teaching people how to know, and live life with intention.
Absolutely.
So when you do that, you step into things knowing the outcome and not get attached to the outcome, but do whatever you can to a better person, to help people out there. So yeah, I love that. Awareness is what we are about.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's hard and you fall back to being the zombie again, but you just have to pull yourself back out and kind of reset.
It's interesting when you say it. Sometimes it's hard. Can you elaborate on that? Sometimes it's hard. I want people to know what we're talking about here.
I just feel like it's a constant practice, and we fall into old habits in our existence, as we're walking through our daily lives and in busy lives. I have two kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, and
busy mom.
Yes, and elderly parents, and you're trying to care for them, and they call it the sandwich generation when you're kind of sandwiched in between and caring for everybody but yourself. And if you have a bunch of cranky people around you, that does not help either, because their energy can really pull you out of where your focus is. And so you really just need to step away and be able to listen and respond to people and not get into that chaos. But sometimes you fall into it. You just can't help it.
One of the most fascinating things that I hear all the time from women as yourself, such as moms with careers, is that we're trying to do the best. We're trying to do the best. How about simply we are?
Yes. Yeah.
Because,
Absolutely.
When I hear that, it reminds me of my own mom, who raised 13 children.
Oh.
And I've never heard my mom. I've never heard my mom say, "I'm trying." She just did, and I think we can go far beyond the term doing. I think she was being the mother, and that's what you are. You're being. You're not doing the mothering, because we can't. Us fathers, we are. Part of raising the children and loving our children, but we don't have that power that you guys have, because it's a power. Mothering, it's
well, that's a good way to. I love it.
A mother, and
absolutely.
And to the mothers out there, and I'm sure you can say the same thing and back me up on this, is that don't feel bad about when you're asking yourself the question, what is it that I need to do? Why am I here? You already have the answer. You co-created. You have created life.
Absolutely.
And that's everything. Everything else is a bonus.
I mean, as a parent, you really have to step outside yourself and not give up on yourself, but it becomes about the child, and it becomes raising.
You're living again to the child.
That's right. And bringing that next generation to be able to do more, be better.
So now we are on the same length. We were from the second we started talking. But be and do are two different things.
Yes, absolutely.
And when we bring that awareness and we're passionate about the things we are so-called doing, we're being those things, the doing becomes effortless.
I was remembering the first time we met, I think it was over at the Scripps stations.
It was.
And I just I was meeting different people at that point from Scripps and Scripps Radio that owned radio stations here in Tucson. And I was your energy right away, boom, I could feel it. And
Thank you.
And you did really well when
Thank
you
you.
transitioned over with Lotus Company, so a corporation, which I really appreciate. But you were 10 years in radio, right? Yeah. And so what got you to go from radio to all of a sudden, really focusing on your own health?
Well, I think that I've had years of getting up at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I was continuously getting sleep scores of 4 out of 100 on my watch, just reminding me that I wasn't doing well for myself. And then as we all walk through the crazy pandemic, that, things make you reevaluate, which everybody left, the great resignation, right? Everyone left work. My co-host and I made it through the whole transition when a lot of people didn't. And a lot of times we were just there trying to do a job with less people listening in the moment. And then all of a sudden there were a lot of people. But as I was continuing forward and the rest of the areas of my life were probably being a little neglected, we were able, during the pandemic, to adopt through Foster Care Arizona this little boy, and some of his, how do I say it? Just his challenges, maybe, which I think are amazing challenges. They're really his superpowers. We're starting to surface and trying to be able to advocate for him, and then advocate for my parents, who were very high-functioning humans, are all of a sudden not.
Wow, yeah.
And they live in another city,
Yeah,
and so
one of the biggest concerns.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Yes, and so I think that as we went on, and I loved every minute walking in that studio. We had a great time.
You guys were great on air. Very, very good.
And what I can say with my partner there, and I've had a lot of different radio partners. I've had great ones, and I've had really, really difficult ones. But integrity is a huge part of what we do. And when I'm feeling that the integrity, this is just another area of it, I want to make sure that the integrity aligns with what our values are. And sometimes you see some people have bad behavior in radio, and when I see it being allowed, I don't want to be around it. So I think that in the long run, as I look back, a part of why I decided to make the transition for going from health, going into my health fully, was as I was walking through the process of going on the air every day, and then I found something that was working for me to get healthy.
83 pounds.
83 pounds.
Wow.
I never felt like I was 83 pounds. I felt awful, but you don't think that you're 83 pounds heavier.
But when I first met you, you weren't the 83-pound additional Meredith, were you?
No, I was already
I don't remember you like that.
Losing when I met you. So
Okay.
I was probably down let's see, I might have been down 40 maybe.
Okay, yeah, because I just don't remember that Meredith.
Yeah, you don't. Well, I like that.
So Meredith,
Yeah.
of course, there's so many questions as our listeners and watchers may have right now. A ton of questions just based on that.
Yes.
But I have one specific question for
Yes.
you. You went through the process, and obviously now you're using that to help others. How are you using your experience of losing because 83 pounds, we talk about, again, content, nutrition, exercise, all of these things.
Right.
But it's not only that.
Yeah.
In order to lose that kind of weight, you have to go beyond that content and go tap into the context.
Yes.
So what is it, and how did you manage to lose the weight, and how are you using it to help others right now?
Oh, well, I think a lot of it is changing some mindset because we all can change the habits, for a short time, right? We see people lose 100 pounds, gain 100 pounds. It happens continually.
Terrible.
And now that we've had so many clients, I really can tell within like the first time of talking to them, like where their fear lies, So I see a lot of fear come in. Oh, I don't want to go on a diet, which P.S. Everyone has a diet. If your diet is, stopping at the gas station and getting Cheetos and, Coca-Cola.
Is that bad?
No, it simply means the way you eat.
Yes, the way you eat. And so I just see people's fear come in really quickly. And so before we even discuss anything about nutrition, they're like, well, I don't want to limit what I eat because I don't want to have loose skin. We have 150 pounds to lose. Like, you are so far from loose skin. And that's not a bad thing that they're saying it. It's just that they're in this fear of whatever's brought them to this point. And so being able to really listen to what they need. There are a lot of clients that we've had who have gained some back because they want to lose the weight temporarily for a wedding or for whatever, but they are not really changing the habits you need to change. And that takes work. It takes looking at
Again,
your
you're teaching
habits.
them awareness.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, far beyond mindset is acknowledging where you are now and accepting, who you are. That reminds me of a short story that I'm going to share with you and to make your point. It was at a conference in San Francisco, at a fitness and wellness conference. And I was in a sauna, and there was a gentleman who obviously looked well built, but he was covered,
Yeah.
And he gave me a compliment, and he said, "You look fantastic." And I said, "You too, sir." And he got mad, teary eyes, and saying, "How dare you say this to me when you know it's not the truth?" And I said, "Sir, by all means, I apologize if I hurt your feelings, but the person you think you lost is still there.
Yes.
It's
absolutely
inside of you. Why don't you reach for it? But please sit down. I'm going to explain to you. To me, I see this body. You probably played football, right?" And you said, "Yes, in college." "How do you know?" "You look like it. This is why I gave you the compliment." And you just covered. You need to accept who you are now in order to get to who you are going to be tomorrow.
Yes.
Once you accept that, everything else starts showing up. Your nutrition is easier flowing, and your workouts are less, harder or effortless, so to speak, because you're passionate about it. So yeah, passion and awareness, and accepting who you are.
Well, and I think what you're talking about is difficult for people. I mean, you guys are all, like one of the first pictures I saw of Ken was when we were like stalking you and trying to figure out who these people are that we had to interview with.
That's right. I remember you said I was stalking you. It's like, what? I've never had anybody stalk me before.
And well, I think your son like tagged you on like one of the weightlifting ones, and we're all like, "Oh, like this is the guy." We're all like looking at your photos. You're clearly fit. So you two
That's
are
the story
fit.
you told me. Okay, I got it now.
You guys are fit, and I don't know if you've ever, had a lot of weight on you, but I had.
I've been a butterball.
You have been.
Yeah.
Were you in husky jeans?
If there was the stretchy jeans, I would have had stretchy jeans.
I wish
then.
they had those because those are way better, but more comfortable. But I would say, like, we have a client who I used to work with when I was in Minneapolis, and she lost 80 pounds with us, and she now gets to play. She likes to play hockey. She's a woman who plays hockey, which is really cool, and she wasn't able to do those things. And so now she can. But the thing she said is, I just still feel like the same person that I was before. And that is so much, that is so telling. There's so much work that you need to do in that moment.
Yeah.
Therapy.
Yeah, but Meredith, I think, it's we owe it to the people who are listening to us right now. Yes, you lost a lot of weight. This is incredible. Of course, it's a lot of work. Ken, you've done the work into getting from a certain weight to on stage. I've went from rickets to and to become a world champion. There's a lot of work. But in that work, I think there's passion. We need to talk more about the value the passion brings.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
When you're passionate about what you're doing, you become, like I said earlier, the object of the doing. You know, and that
Yes.
makes it a lot easier. I've worked with a lot of people who lost a lot of weight. At first, it wasn't, it was difficult. Then, trust me, once the weight was lost and gone, they shed all that weight. They always thought this: I will never, ever go back to where I was. Not because they looked, overweight, but because the way they felt. They couldn't play with their kids. They were out of breath, just, climbing one flight of stairs. And it was horrible for them, that feeling. So I guess once you get there, you can compare now the way you felt and the way you feel. And you'll never, do whatever it took to get you there.
Yeah, that feeling of that before. I mean, you're stuck.
Yeah, we can say the same thing about the drug addiction. When people are rehabilitated,
Yes.
they know a different feeling. The pain of feeling the way they felt outweighs, any behavior, and they wouldn't do it again because they know how it feels now to be healthy, to feel, good about yourself. And yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, because we have so many listeners that have either want to lose weight or have lost weight, gain it back. So what do you tell the people that are listening right now or watching right now, and they're just thinking it's just too late for me? I mean, I've tried everything, and it's just like I just kind of give up, or it's just too late.
Absolutely not. I mean, we have 76, 80-year-olds who are going to high school reunions. There's not a lot of people left, and they've lost weight. Like, you could change at any time, even careers, right? You could change careers at any time. You just have to be able to see it in your head. But it is just habit changes. So I think that a lot of people think they have to go to the gym 6 days a week, week one. Well, they are going to burn themselves out so fast. Like, I really believe, and I'm not sure if you guys are this way, but you have to switch that nutrition first, because that nutrition.
So important is the nutrition.
Yes. And I've burnt myself out. I mean, I've done them all, and I love them all. I mean, Orange Theory and Jenny Craig like 6 times, Weight Watchers like 22 times. I mean, I've been like fighting this since I was maybe 13. Right?
It's interesting. I mean, it's a, I love all these, methods.
Yes.
And it's great because it pushes people to do
Yes.
something. But after all, one thing is sure, the world is your gym.
Yes.
Absolutely. You can go to the store for grocery shopping. You can get out of there 5,000 steps in no time.
It's a good way to think
Go to
of
the
it.
mall.
So there's a lot of things, but I think we need to understand and emphasize on the fact that if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. So, one of the things that really, really helps people who I work with is to know their why and their what. I want them to see clearly how they feel and look before they even touched anything.
Visualization
Yeah.
is
And
so important.
That's, in my book, Inner Fitness, as well as Mind Over Body, I talk about a lot about this. It sounds corny, but, nobody invented that. We human beings, we're doing that since we are here on this planet. The power of knowing and seeing and feeling what you want to accomplish.
It's interesting you say that, because I think that is that why people get stuck on. And, all of a sudden they're at a doctor's office and they're having some type of medical emergency type situation. And now all of a sudden their why becomes clear.
Yeah.
And so it's hard.
And I go further than that.
Yes.
Meredith.
Yes.
You mentioned the doctor's office. Amazing. But, and it's great. I recommend people to check with their doctors. But there's one thing that extraordinary that happens in people such as yourself, is that you walk in that store, minding your own business, buying groceries, and that person who came out of the doctor's office who was told to lose 100 pounds, otherwise, things would go worse, sees you. You don't even say a word. The way you look. She has a picture. She now knows it's possible. So you're actually inspiring people without saying a word, simply because you take care of yourself. Forget about, coaching them, but even without saying anything to a stranger who's like grocery shopping and looks at you, she's about to buy this, and then, oh, no way. See, I can do this. She might even come and ask you questions. And hence you can say, I lost 83 pounds.
Yes.
So you are the possibility.
The possibility.
You're the billboard.
They see that. And when people have a picture, and that's what I was saying about the power of visualization, you see it on a magazine, that's fine. But you see it in real, that's
Yes.
another thing. That's why I said to people, the gym is also great to go there because you have, forget about gym rats.
Yes.
You have a lot of people that are there that look fantastic. They mind their own business, and you know what to do just by looking at them. So the power of visualization is not only great, but I think a must.
I think that is something when I look back at my life and where my success has been, it's been because when I was in high school, I had this coach who was tough, but we were not allowed when we got on a bus to talk. We could listen to music, but we had to visualize what we were going to do in that game. So the whole ride in Chicago, so I'm from Chicago. So I
was just there.
You were? Yes. So it's like an hour ride on a bus, and you're just visualizing hitting the ball, visualizing stopping the ball, visualizing. And so at such a young age, they're putting in these techniques that have clearly helped figure out the rest of my life, right? So being able to see something before it happens is so important.
When you do the work and you get to the desired outcome, even without the desired outcome, you can learn from it. But you have a map. You can show people, that it's okay. You can start from here, and this is where you're going to get, So thank you, Meredith. Thank you for taking the time to come and share your story. I know it's a short podcast, and that's the point. We
Yes.
keep it short. The No Limits Life is a short podcast that goes straight to the point. And uplift people and give them the tools to better themselves. Yes. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, Meredith, thank you. I just want to make sure I tell our listeners or ask our listeners and viewers, if you are joining us today, please, if you like this message, and I think, Meredith, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Please pass it along, subscribe, like, and make sure you have your No Limits life.
Again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Meredith.
Thank you. It's great being here with you guys.
Follow your heart. All you gotta do is follow. All you gotta